Hey, this is my recap of RuPaul's Drag Race Countdown to the Crown. Remember those 80s shows, those clip shows, where it'd be like the Golden Girls and they'd all be sitting around and looking at photo albums and Rose would say, hey, remember the time we... And the screen would fade and you'd see all your favorite parts from the favorite episodes? That's essentially what this episode is all about. It's clips from throughout the season, all the best moments, the highlights, some unseen footage, things like that. Great episode, super fun to watch. Not a lot to recap. Like, what am I going to say? Remember that time that Courtney sang really well? Yeah, they showed that. So it's going to be a pretty short recap / review. I like the episode where I think this is basically a time killer just to stretch out the season. We do get to see some stuff we haven't seen before. We do get to see some of our favorite queens from previous seasons talking about this season, which is always fun. And it's a mix of previous winners, like Sharon Needles, who was completely unrecognizable. I didn't even know who she was. I had to rewind until they showed the name. But they had Sharon Needles, they had Raja, they had a lot of fan favorites like Latrice Royale and Alaska and things like that. A lot of finalists like Raven, Juju B's a fan favorite. And then they also had Tammy Brown, who I don't really remember that clearly. I remember that she was weird, but I don't remember her as being their fan favorite, and she definitely wasn't a finalist. So I kind of wonder how they pick people. Is it like people in the area? Is it whoever's like got a free weekend? Is it, what I really wonder, is it the people that in the end are the easiest to work with? I kind of wondered about that. So notice how you've never seen Tyra again. Like, I haven't seen her in forever. But we see like Raven a lot. So I'm like wondering if she's like easier to work with and all that. So this is all a conspiracy theory in my head. What was interesting to me is they had their top 4 MVP moments, which is like Courtney singing, Ben de la Creme doing the Snatch game with an honorable mention to Adore rapping, and Bianca doing comedy, which I thought was kind of funny because they didn't have Darian in there, and Darian was actually top 4. But what we see throughout this is we see them kind of highlighting everyone's top traits and stuff, and so that we see how funny Bianca is, how she's actually nice despite pretending not to be. I mean, she never really does anything malicious. She calls people out, but she's not really mean. I don't know how to explain the difference, but in my mind, I would rather have someone do that to me than to be like what Darian did, where Darian was like mean girls, like I want to make you feel bad. Whereas Bianca may have made people feel bad, but I don't know. It's either you get it or you don't. Adore is so enchanting. They both are obviously very good performers, but personality-wise, both Adore and Bianca, I think, are 2 of the most captivating queens they've ever had on the show. I find them just delightful. I would love to watch them. I would love to like hang out with them. I mean, I think people see them and like want to be BFFs and like go to the mall and, oh my gosh, going someplace with Bianca and like reading people and judging and making fun of them, like, oh, I would just die. I would so love to do that. And then all the footage of Courtney is like Courtney being technically good at her job. Like, she sings really well. She performs really well. She has nice costumes. And she has a good body. Although I don't think she has the most feminine body in the sense that she's very flat on the sides. I mean, I know there are women who are like that. But they go on and on and on and on and on about how incredible her body is. And I don't necessarily technically think that she's that much better of a body than either Bianca or Adore. But that's just my opinion. I'm not an expert on that. But I don't dislike Courtney. I don't necessarily want to go be best friends with her. So I think it's going to really come down to Adore and Bianca. And truthfully, I don't care who wins as long as we see more of both of them. That's what I need, more Adore and Bianca in my life. So see you next week when we find out who wins.